Hello, my name is Alondra Hernandez, and today I will talk about my experience in Cartagena, Colombia for my study abroad. So this summer in July, I volunteered abroad in Cartagena for 2 weeks with IVHQ, also known as International Volunteer Headquarters. The original plan was to volunteer in a sports development program with children. In Cartagena, the volunteer coordinators informed us of the different programs to choose from. Those were childcare, gardening, teaching English at different levels, visiting children with cancer, and doing activities with youth at drug rehab centers. When it comes to different places in the world, each country has its own health problems they are dealing with. And I learned through the volunteer coordinators and through local people that the major health issues in Colombia are malaria in lowland and coastal areas, homicides, which are now decreasing, malnutrition, heart disease, which is the main cause of premature deaths, strokes, respiratory diseases, road accidents, and diabetes. I also learned that AIDS is the fifth leading cause of death in the working people, and I was surprised at this information, but those who know that have it are receiving antiretroviral therapy. So how are all of these people helped throughout Colombia? Well, Colombia has also established over 3,000 hospitals, clinics, and ambulance services throughout the country. But that doesn't mean that all of these services are too great in all the places provided. For example, my friends and I were able to visit Isla Grande, the big island, for 2 days. We walked the entire island, and throughout our stay, we did not see a formal clinic present. We heard of a doctor being there, but we did not know if it was a formal practice or just a person many people went to because of their wisdom. I could understand if they do not have accessible health care there because the isla is only for the native people. So this means that others cannot live there or buy property on this land. So if anyone needed to be in a hospital, it would take about 45 minutes from the island to reach Cartagena by boat. And this made me reflect on my future practice, wanting to become a physical therapist. I asked myself, what if someone needed physical therapy or some type of rehab? Or if they needed access to a doctor, to a clinic, to a hospital, how would they access that in a timely manner? Other issues I heard about was violence and drug abuse. In these towns we volunteered at were low income and had a reputation for gangs, violence, and theft. So that kind of went hand in hand with drug abuse. And also, Colombia has a stigma for using drugs, especially cocaine. Two of our volunteer programs consisted of visiting youth and doing activities with them at these drug rehab centers. These centers were known as Maria Turbaco and Maria Canapote. And I really wish I could post pictures of our time at the centers with these children and adolescents, but I cannot. The reason is they are under the protection of the Colombian government since they are under the age of 18 years old. But I do think that having the centers is a solution to decrease drug abuse in children and adolescents, with the help of their parents wanting them to be at these centers until they are clean and are better behaved so that they can go out into their society and be with their families once again. Even though I was 3,060 miles away from San Diego, I still found that people faced a lot of the same health problems of not only San Diego, but the United States. And the reason I say this is because cancer is so prevalent throughout the world. I was able to visit children with cancer in a program called Fun Vivir, or also known as Fun Living. It was great to know that there was a clean house provided for these children, especially in the barrio that is low income. And another program was teaching English. which is beneficial to the kids to help them understand more and become of a larger community in this world because of that knowledge they are gaining. It amazed me to see how excited they were to learn a new language and how smart they were because they really focused during that 1 hour time frame. And all of these services provided to the children and adolescents in these barrios shows that the state and community are concerned about the young. Also, having volunteers from all over the world learn and experience something new is a good global perspective to have and to better this world and others around us, so that this can also lead into them wanting to better their own community in the future and giving back. So I believe all these programs are filling gaps in their society, but I did notice a few things or challenges that could be improved upon. For example, maybe it could be more structured as to how these children and volunteers spend their time. And by this I mean they could be more productive by having playtime, but also have some teaching material to learn, since these children do not attend school. And for the English class I volunteered in, I would recommend to have more of a teaching structure from the volunteers so the children gradually build more knowledge of a foreign language. Also, at Maria Canapote, one of the drug rehab centers, I noticed that it was a small facility. Even though it was 2 stories, it was closed off in the center, so there was not much space outside for these children and adolescents to fully engage in physical activity to maintain a healthy body. So if they were able to be taken to open land or an open area with adult supervision, then they would be able to do this type of activity and be healthier and just more productive and have more energy. And something good that I noticed about Isla Grande and the native people was that they really cared about the preservation of nature. As some of the tour guides or the native people that we spoke to, they were very big on this issue, and that's why other people are not able to buy land there or live there if they are not inhabitants of the island. They also do not want people to mess with their trees and with their plants, since it is a jungle, or touch any of the animals that live on this island, for example, the large iguanas. And overall, I thought it was great learning that these kids were taken into these programs to help certain aspects of their lives. So relating this to my travel abroad experience to this class, I believe that people have basic human rights and should be able to access healthcare, to have different programs to help them advance in their lives and change aspects of their lives with the help of the government, their families, and volunteers from around the globe. This could not have happened without partnerships, and we learned in HHS 350 that partnerships are very important to create a better world and a better place. So here, an organization called Papel de Niños, the government, families, IVHQ, and another organization, Emerging Voices, was able to have these programs available for many of these children and their families. And also, I believe that having a global perspective is important to be aware of health issues around the world. Not only health, but other issues as to clean water, good hygiene, having an education, and be able to be more productive in society. So I think that all of these issues and all these important topics is important not only to just the people living in certain countries or in their certain community, but to everyone else around them in the world. And I really think that IVHQ really was able to help me notice that certain aspect of the world. For me in the future, becoming a physical therapist, I will be more aware of what type of issues not only happen in just San Diego County or just in California, but also other places around the world. And how can I become part of a partnership to help others, or I can volunteer on the weekends to just lower um, income communities here in just San Diego. And that can build to working with other communities in the world, or knowing of other people and how we can change the world little by little. So there is my travel abroad experience. And thank you, everyone. I hope you have a nice day.